Brock, how you doing, man?
Pretty good, man.
Glad
How you doing?
on, man.
Yeah,
Glad
thank
to
you.
finally
Thank you for
meet
having
you.
me. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is fun. I'm excited.
So I seen you on the podcast called Heavy Breathing Podcast.
Yeah. Just
just told me you're a host now, man.
Just started hosting that. Yeah, we've done 3 together now so far. So yeah,
awesome.
It's very new, but pretty exciting.
That's
real
awesome,
fun.
Man. Yeah, I love that podcast, man. I haven't been watching them too long, but the episodes I've watched, I watched both the years, and I've seen a couple others, but. Yeah, you guys are funny, man. You kind of open, conversation. And, a lot of these podcasts think, or people who would listen to them think you have to kind of be geared towards a certain subject. But I like just conversation.
Yeah, we go in so far every time we've gone in like with a plan of what we want to talk about. Mm-hmm. And we usually do a pretty good job, but so far we've strayed a little bit during them, but
hey man,
but they're fun conversations.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, man, you really don't have to. You don't have to target an audience. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what I'm doing. Like, I don't get thousands of views or millions of views. I'm.
Then why the fuck am I here? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. But it's like you're gonna find that audience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Like me, for instance, like what you just said. You're like, man, sometimes we kind of fall off from the script and all this, but I can't tell. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like. I like it.
Yeah, at the end of the day, it's just conversation. So.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. I think we forget that, especially like, kind of what I do for work. I work a lot by myself. Okay. So it's nice to just hear conversation, even if it's just funny things, you know what I mean? Hearing people bullshitting back and forth, cracking jokes, and it makes the time go by, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't have to always listen to some type of PBS documentary. You know what I mean? Like, just fun old conversation. Like I'm chilling in the garage with a couple of friends is, cool to listen to.
Yeah. I mean? What do you do?
Me, I'm a machinist.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
I do dabble in different work. I've been in construction. Right now I'm back in machining. So
cool.
Don't really like it, but it pays the bills. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But,
it's I got one of those.
Yeah.
Got a day job.
What do you do?
I'm a dental technician.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's a pretty
you go to
fancy sounding job.
School?
Actually, no.
No?
I just applied.
What?
Yeah.
And they just train you on the job?
Pretty much, yeah. I work in a lab, so I don't see any patients ever.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't know what a dental technician even is. Like, we're the people that make like crowns, bridges, dentures, all that kind of stuff, implants. We get the work from dentists all over the country. And then we make what they want on models of the patient's mouth and send it back.
So, do you work in a dentist office, or
I work like in it's like in a separate building. It's like its own lab.
I got you.
Yeah, over in Leawood.
Oh, that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah,
but you probably hate it, right?
it pays the bills.
It pays the bills. Yeah. Yeah, man. No, that's cool. I didn't even know that. I mean, kind of when you think of it, I thought it'd be more of like a dental assistant. That's kind of what I was thinking.
Oh, yeah. A lot of people, when I tell them I'm a dental technician, they immediately think of like a dental hygienist.
Yeah.
And their first question's like, oh, isn't it gross getting in someone's mouth? I'm like, I wouldn't know. I'm never
touched the mouth.
Never getting in there.
That's cool, man. Yeah. What made you go towards that?
I needed money, and at the time, my girlfriend's grandpa was like, I know a guy that works at a dental lab. Give him a call. And I was like, all right, I need money. Why not?
Yeah.
I've been there for a few years now, and I mean, it's not bad. It's fun working there. The guys I work with are fun.
Yeah.
It's just not what I want to be doing.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So let's get into that too. Comedian, man. How long have you been doing that?
I've been doing it since I started kind of like right after the pandemic, like once things started to open back up again, 2020. So a little over 3 years now.
3 years.
Yeah.
How's that been?
Pretty good,
Roller
man.
Coaster of emotions.
Oh, for sure. Definitely.
Yeah.
Lots of times of feeling like I'm the funniest person in the world, followed immediately by I'm never going to be able to do this. Lots of up and downs for sure.
Yeah.
But no, it's great. I love doing it.
It's kind of the thing with everything, right? I mean, I'm sure they're in every type of hobby, especially pursuing it as career-wise, they're going to have your low points and your high points.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just sucks that you guys have to have those low points in front of hundreds of people.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. That definitely separates the weak from the strong for sure.
For sure,
man,
yeah.
Because I couldn't even imagine, man. Yeah, we go to the Improv quite a bit up at Zona Rosa.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Intimate setting. It's
it's
real
pretty
nice.
cool.
I've never been to the comedy or what's it called? Casey Comedy?
The Comedy Club of Kansas City.
Comedy Club of Kansas City. I haven't been to that one.
Great club.
Is it?
Yeah.
I got to check that one out.
And I'm not just saying that because they give me more work. They really are a really cool club.
I got to check that one out. And I used to go to a long time ago. I want to say maybe over 10 years ago. We used to go down to Sanford's? Sanford's?
Yes.
Yeah, way out in,
Yeah.
I don't know, somewhere out in Kansas. But that one used to be pretty fun too. And it was cool because, I've always been a fan of comedy. I mean, even I think my first comedy like DVD I seen was when I was probably like in middle school.
Mm-hmm.
Latin Kings of Comedy. My dad was like a real big George Lopez fan.
Yeah.
And man, when I watched that, I mean, I couldn't stop like just fucking cracking up. Man. It was good. And then from then on, Dave Chappelle got into all that. But I never thought going to a club until I got older and just even seeing someone I don't even know. You're like, man, I've never seen this guy before.
Right,
Like, he's going to be funny, But actually, I think with the setting, alcohol, good, everyone's there, and you go and watch this person. And even though you don't know him, man, I mean, shit, I haven't seen anybody really bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe I've been fortunate, but even guys that I've never even heard of, like sometimes they give out free tickets and stuff like that. I used to be like leery, like, man, is this going to be all right? I'm going to bring a group of friends, but I don't know. This might not end up good, but I've always had a good time at those shows, man,
Yeah.
So.
I think part of that is like when you're going to like a comedy club, you're going expecting to laugh, expecting things to be funny. And it's usually a lot easier to perform like at a comedy club setting, as opposed to like I've done a lot of like bar shows as well, and sometimes those shows are a room full of people that had no idea comedy was going to happen, and now they just show up to drink, and now they got to be quiet and like pay attention to what's going on, and like you can win them over, but it's certainly a lot harder than if you get an audience of people that like are paying to sit down and watch you. And like have a good time.
Have probably more assholes at
bars,
bars,
for sure.
Fucking with you.
Yeah,
man. How do you handle that? Best you can.
I'm still working on it. I'm not great at it.
Crowd work.
I try to just pretty much what I do so far is just like I try to get them to like just stop by like talking over them or just like moving on. But sometimes you have to engage with them, otherwise they're not going to stop.
Yeah,
and that can be difficult. But
I know. When's it get to the point to where you kind of got to be like, hey, get them out? Have you ever gotten to that point?
Not like while I've been on stage. There was one time when I was hosting at the Comedy Club of Kansas City when I was doing my set at the beginning, and I was doing a whole bunch of jokes about Independence because that's where I'm from. And this one lady was, I guess, from Independence as well. And she was already drunk. And she thought that was so funny and like amazing. She like wanted to tell me how she was from Independence and like how she grew up there. And I'm like, she kept trying to like have a conversation with me. So I just said, I was like, all right, that's all right, ma'am. I'll take it from here, but thanks. And I just like kept going. And then the security guy came over and like whispered something to her and like asked her to be quiet or whatever. And then the rest of my set, she just sat there like this.
Oh God.
Like she was having a good time. And then the security guard said something and she was no longer having a good time.
Yeah.
And then during the headliner set later on, she got kicked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, at some point, man, you can't ruin the entire show for everybody.
Some people don't realize like there's other people there too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I've been at a couple of those shows where people are just fucking. I remember I had one guy. He was just literally every joke that was said, he kept like repeating it to everybody. It's like, man, I just heard him.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know why you got to keep repeating it. But
right.
I was just like, man, there's no reason to argue with people when they're fucking all fucked up and drunk and shit. So.
For sure.
But,
Sometimes people don't realize that they're not sitting at home watching a TV.
Yeah.
Like they'll just talk like they're talking to the TV.
That liquid courage,
or
man.
like conversely, they'll just sit there and like stare at you. And it's like, you can laugh out loud. Like that's what we're here to do.
Yeah.
Like you're not just watching a TV at home. Like laugh.
Yeah.
Like everybody else, please.
Yeah.
This is weird.
Yeah, I've seen those guys, but man, honestly, the last one I went to the Michael Blackson one. I think it was a couple weeks ago.
Was that good?
Yeah, it was pretty good. But dude came in. I don't know whatever one of his comedians before him. He came in, and as soon as he came in, he goes, "All right, I like to crowd work." I was like, "Oh shit!" And they put me right in front.
Oh damn.
Only white dude there. I'm like, oh fuck, man. And luckily he didn't fuck with me the whole time, man.
That's
so
good.
I'm like, oh, thank God, dude, because I thought I was just gonna get the heat of it, which I don't care, you know.
Yeah.
And I got pretty thick skin, but
Yeah.
I was just like, all right, man. And you don't get to pick your seats, so
No,
it's not
yeah.
like I chose.
The
you know?
Improv does it based on when you bought your tickets. So if you bought them first, you get put closer
Well,
to the
they
stage.
say that, but it looked like who showed up first.
Oh, really?
Because I thought the same thing, but they were just sitting at the beginning of the line. They just sat us all up in the front. So,
Maybe it is that. I don't know. I've done it before. I've gone to see, when I went to see Ari Shafir with some friends, we showed up like 5 minutes before it was supposed to start, but he bought his tickets like as soon as they went on sale. And so we sat right next to the stage, even though we were that late.
Yeah.
So
how was that one? That was pretty good.
it was really good. It was funny. He was doing his Jew hour.
Was it?
Yeah, it was great.
Dude, that guy. I haven't seen any of his comedies, or his specials, or he doesn't even have a special out, does he? Isn't that the big funny running joke with him? Is like he hasn't released a special yet.
I think he just did like the Jew hour one. I think he just came out with that one.
Okay, because I remember they used to because I listened to all those like Joe Rogan, and, Theo Vaughn, all them, and I remember they used to mess with him all the time, like, when are you gonna put out a special? When are you gonna put out a special? But yeah, and then the last one I went to go see was what's his name? Does the podcast on with the Breakfast Club guy. Damn it, I just forgot his name too. I don't know. It'll come back to me. I forgot it. He's funny, dude. I don't know how the fuck I just went blank, dude. Sometimes this happens. I just go blank. But yeah, man. No, I love the Improv, man. It's pretty cool. Have you done shows up there before?
Yeah, I did. I've done a few shows up there. I want to get back in there. It's hard to get in there for like a local comedian. Yeah, they don't have.
So the Kansas City Comedy. What'd you say?
The Comedy Club of Kansas City.
Kansas City. They're more.
There's a lot more opportunities for local comedians at the Comedy Club of Kansas City than as opposed to like the Improv. There's just not a whole lot of like most of the headliners that go through the Improv bring the people that are going to be performing with them. Gotcha. So there's not a whole lot of spots for like local people.
Gotcha.
So that makes it a lot harder to get in there.
Place. I mean, that would suck if it was all like that. But so you said 3 years ago you got into it. What made you like what made you go into that, man? I mean, that's kind of. How old are you?
I'm 22 now.
Oh, fuck, so you were young.
Yeah.
Man. Shit.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's great. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess some of those guys start even earlier than that. I heard like Dave Chappelle started when he was like 14 or 15.
Yeah. Crazy. I think Eddie Murphy started when he was like 15, something like that.
I don't know how the fuck they have the balls to get up there at 15 years old and go, all right, I'm talking
at
to a
15,
bunch of grown
I definitely
people,
didn't.
You know, like to have the confidence like that. That's crazy.
Right. Yeah.
But
I definitely did not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've always been like, at least growing up, I was more shy and like reserved. And like, even now I'm still like in a public setting, I'm definitely more introverted, but I'm not as shy as like I used to be.
Oh, comedy probably helped you out.
Oh yeah,
better,
definitely.
Right?
Definitely brought me out more.
I've noticed that because for a long time I had a job that was very isolated.
Yeah.
Because I machined for a long time. You know, it's a bunch of machines. We make parts for the aerospace industry.
Cool.
And so, I'm just kind of by myself the whole time.
Right.
And I've always kind of been like, I'll talk to people and if I get drunk, I'll be all fun and shit like that. Get that liquid courage.
Yeah.
But usually I'm kind of just like to myself. But I had gotten a job recently as a project manager for a construction company, and it really branched me out. Dealing with people, like learning to deal with people that you don't know, people that you don't like, people that you have issues with, learning to resolve conflict. And it's kind of nice because it helps you in other avenues, like even podcasting right now.
Yeah.
I've never met you, but, I feel comfortable right now. We said hi upstairs, boom, boom, boom. We're talking now. Before it may have been, a little awkward. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So I'm sure, with comedy, you dealing with other people, because do you meet people after your show?
Oh yeah, I usually like after shows. I normally I'll go stand out in the lobby as people are leaving.
Yeah.
So like if I stand out there hoping people come over and say something, but like I don't go over and just like, hey, did you like it?
Yeah.
I just stand there just as people walk by. Have a good night.
Buy tickets next time.
But yeah, so I've just talked to a whole bunch of random people like doing that.
You don't got the T-shirt guys out there?
There are some comics that sell T-shirts. I don't have any T-shirts
like, hey,
to
man,
sell.
buy a T-shirt. I'm like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
Maybe next time.
Right.
But no, man. Yeah, because that'll definitely. I mean, you're dealing with, especially, with at those shows, man. A lot of people are drunk and shit, so I'm sure you get a lot of awkward conversations.
Oh, definitely.
But no, that's cool, man. Definitely branched you out. That's pretty dope
for sure.
But yeah, man, that's pretty cool. So dental tech turning comedian, huh?
Yeah.
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 So what do you plan, man? Like, what's your whole goal to kind of like just keep doing shows after shows and just see kind of where it goes? Like, do you plan to travel or stay local or?
I'm hoping to I want to move eventually.
Yeah.
Right now I'm kind of just like, I'm working the day job, and my plan right now is just save as much money as I can. And while I'm saving, just keep working on my comedy skills and all that, and just keep trying to get as best as I can be. So that way in a few years when I'm like ready to move to New York or LA or Chicago or wherever I'm going next. I think I think if I don't want to become stagnant, I'm going to have to move, because like Kansas City is a really great city to start doing comedy in. Yeah. Like, I didn't think, like, before I actually fully started, I didn't realize how great of a comedy scene Kansas City actually has. So it's a great place to start, but you can't make it big and stay in Kansas City. You got to go to where the action is.
What about with Texas? I heard they're taking off now.
Yeah, Austin's growing a lot there. Yeah. So that's becoming a lot
closer
place.
than having to move out to California or
for sure. Yeah, that's definitely becoming a new hub for comedy down there.
Have you been anywhere else or just kind of local?
I've been to a few places. I went to Chicago last year.
Oh yeah, that was the one where you're doing it outside.
Yeah. You saw that one?
Yeah, so they did because you weren't 21 or something.
Yeah,
like that?
I wasn't 21. Just if anybody is confused, I was not 21 yet. It was the Monday before my 21st birthday, actually. And we went to do, it wasn't even like a show or anything. It was just an open mic. We just wanted to go do an open mic.
They couldn't just let you in and be
like, hey, we walked in, beer. Immediately they were like, can I see your IDs? And I was like, hot damn. So I gave him my ID and I was like, I'm just here to do the comedy. And he's like, not 21. Sorry. Yeah. I was like, I just want to perform. Yeah. He's like, it doesn't matter. Not 21. I was like, hot damn. All right. So I went back outside. I was like, I asked one of the guys I was with, I was like, give me the keys. I'm going to just go sit in the truck. You guys do this. I'll just wait. I'll hang out.
Oh, they were comedians too? They were doing the open mic?
I was with 2 other comedians.
Oh, that's cool.
So they were just going to stay and do the open mic. I was just going to hang out in the truck and just wait for them to be done. Yeah. But then, before the open mic started, the host of the open mic, he comes walking outside with a cordless, Bluetooth microphone. He's like, check, doing a mic check outside. And he's like, yep, it works. We're going to let you do your set outside, out in front of the window if you want to. Do you want to? I was like, fuck yeah, that sounds awesome. Yeah. So they let me do it on the sidewalk in front of the window. And everyone just kind of gathered around the window.
Did you think it kind of hurt your game or your
stand-up? It made everything I said so much funnier, and everyone was just like, I can't believe he's doing it outside. That's crazy.
Yeah, I wonder how many times they've done that for
right
somebody.
That is, I mean, it made my set way more entertaining than I could have made it if I just did it inside like everyone else. But
I guess sometimes not bad things, things that don't go your way kind of work out sometimes your way. So.
Yeah.
That's pretty dope, man.
Yeah, I was told the guy that went up after me inside, I was told that he did not do very well at all because he like could not follow the like weird thing that just happened.
Yeah.
And I was like, I couldn't see it. One of the other comics I was with had to tell me, and I was like, "Hey, that's pretty cool."
So you killed it.
Right.
That's dope, man.
Yeah.
Dude, how do you handle something like that, man? Like, I'm sure you've bombed.
Oh,
so, like,
definitely.
how do you, like, what do you do, man? You just kind of walk off the stage?
Just deal with it.
Yeah.
You just try not to let it like affect you too much while it's happening, because that'll just make it worse.
Don't try to go against it too hard.
Yeah,
Just kind of play it off.
If you get to a point where you're like, I'm bombing, there's no saving this set, then at that point just finish your set and go cry in the corner when you get off stage.
Yeah. Like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, the worst thing to do is like
next time.
throw a fit on stage and then like start yelling at the audience. And it's like, well, you weren't making them laugh, so I mean that's not their fault.
Yeah,
I mean,
I've seen
it could have been a bad audience, could have been, but not a great idea to take it out on them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Definitely a lot of bombing in comedy, especially when you first start. It's terrible.
Yeah, I guess you're trying to figure out your game, right? You know,
yeah,
kind of got to work through things. I know,
right?
Joe Rogan always says, like, you know, with comedians, you kind of have to work your stuff out in front of people. It's not like you can go shoot baskets to learn, you know, to get better at basketball by yourself. Yeah. Like, you got to work with people, you know, in order to know what, you know, your friends are going to laugh at you all the time, you know, but are people who don't know you going to think you're funny?
Yeah, that's the important part.
Yeah, because people, you know, come there. But the good thing is that when, you know, these clubs make it kind of a setting to kind of help you guys out too. I mean, you know, good seating, good intimate vibe, you know. Booze always helps, I'm sure. But I guess it could go the other way too. You know what I mean?
It helps to a point.
Yeah, to a point. You know what I mean? Kind of get people loosened up, you know. But yeah, that's pretty cool, man. So you said you're from Independence, huh? I
am, yeah.
Oh man, I bet you get a lot of jokes about that.
Oh yeah.
Even though no one understands that Independence is a huge city.
Yeah. So. That's one of the jokes I have about it is about like the size of it.
Yeah.
It's like basically, I mean, like the premise of the joke is, I'm not gonna sit here and just like spit the joke out, but the premise of the joke is like, if you like describe Independence, it sounds like a small white trash town, and we're not small. I think that's funny. I mean, we're definitely white trash. That part's true, but we're not small.
Yeah.
That's like, so I do have a joke about that.
Yeah, I know. I think I've seen a couple of them on your Instagram. You don't have like a full, like not a special, but like a full 20 minutes, or I don't know. How long do you normally do?
If I'm hosting, I normally do like 10 to 15. The most I've done before is like 35 minutes is the most I've done.
Feel? 35 minutes in front of a crowd. Does it feel forever?
It felt easy. Like I could have kept going. Quick, yeah. Like if you're up there killing it, time flies. Yeah. If you're up there, time goes slow when you're up there bombing. If you're up there bombing, it goes by like, forever.
An hour. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Like the first time I ever got on stage, I remember it was like I bombed so bad. It was terrible. I was at an open mic where everybody got 3 minutes. I wrote out what my jokes were and I like practiced in the mirror, and I was like, that's about 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Got up on stage, ran through it all in about 30 seconds. And I was like, is this shit over yet?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
This is terrible.
Oh man, I can't even imagine, dude.
Yeah.
I definitely, a lot of guys I'm sure don't come back from that.
Yeah. There's a lot of, I've seen a lot of guys bring like a group of their friends to like their very first open mic, get up there and just eat shit and then never see him again.
Yeah, probably not the best idea.
Right.
Yeah, man, I bet a lot of people try that open mic out, because I know a lot of my friends are like, oh man, I could do that. It's like, can you? Are you sure about that?
A lot of people have that thought, and then they try it and they're like, oh, maybe that's a little harder than I thought.
Maybe there's a little more planning to this, and a little more, you know, you got to kind of, that goes behind the scenes.
Right.
You can't just go up there. I mean, think about it. You go up there, you've got 100 people staring at you, you know, and that silence can definitely throw people off.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people don't like to sit there just, you know, oh shit, what's my next
Silence
joke?
can be deafening.
I mean, look at me. I'm fucking.
Right.
I've done probably 40, 50 podcasts, and I'm over here forgetting what the comedian I listen to all the time. Damn, I almost had it. Fuck. I was about to say Andrew Santino, but it's not. God damn it, I can't remember his name. And I can't remember his podcast. Oh, Flagrant. What's that dude's name?
Oh, Andrew Schultz?
Andrew Schultz.
Yeah, yeah.
What the fuck? I can remember.
No,
that.
he's hilarious. I love
Dude, he was pretty funny.
You were at one of his shows?
Mm-hmm.
I went to see
the
him
last
there
one
too.
That he just had. Yeah.
Yeah, I went to see him at the Improv too.
Yeah, he's pretty funny.
He's great.
I think it was a new one. When is a new?
I think so. Yeah, I don't think he was like I didn't recognize
that was my
any
first
of the
one.
material
I mean,
he had.
It was funny. It wasn't as like
I
I don't want
really
to talk
funny.
shit or anything on him, but you know, it wasn't as funny as I thought it was going to be. But it was funny. You know what I mean?
I thought it
pretty
was
funny.
great. I loved it.
Some guys, and it's different for different people. People got different types of
Right.
comedy. For
Yeah,
sure.
definitely.
You know, and I'm sure there's some comedy I like that people are like, yeah, that's not funny at all. But there's some guys, dude, that I just think are like funny, like on podcasts, man. But like, kind of when I watch their comedy, I'm like, I don't know, man. It's weird. It's like they're funny with their group of friends.
Yeah,
you know
it's
what I
like
mean?
it's one thing to be able to like write a joke, and it's another thing to be funny in conversation. Like those are two different things.
Yeah, and some of them just have both, man.
And like a lot of people don't realize that. Like going back to what you said about I could do that when they see stand up. A lot of people don't realize there's a difference between being able to write a joke and being funny in conversation, because they're like, oh, I'm funny with my friends. I could be funny on stage.
Yeah.
Like, oh, can you though?
Yeah, I can't.
You're not bouncing off anybody. It's just
Do you watch football?
people
and go,
listening
yeah,
to
I can
you.
do that. I can throw a ball.
Right.
You know what I mean? No, there's a lot that goes behind that.
Yeah.
What do you do to prepare for like do you just kind of off the head, like write shit down when you think about it, or?
I do use an app on my phone. So like if I'm gonna like do a show, I'll go and like I got lists of like my jokes and stuff, and I'll arrange a set list that way.
That's pretty cool. So you're not a pen and paper type guy.
No, I write using pen and paper, but when for like my shows, I have like my set list on my phone just because it makes it easier.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I'm writing a joke, I do use pen and paper.
So what do you do? Have you always been naturally just memorizing stuff like that? Been good at that, or I mean, because I feel like you get into that moment to where you're on stage. You know, you've got 100 people out there. You know, you could forget some shit. You know what I mean? So do you just kind of have like an arsenal of jokes just in case you forget one? Or I'm going to go to this one. Or do you kind of have it?
It's like when I first started, I did like I would forget a lot of stuff because I'd be like so nervous, and I'm just like I'm just trying to make it through this and get to the end. But like now that I'm like much more comfortable on stage, it's like I write it out. So like I'll write it out and then maybe go through and like do a quick little edit before I like even take it up on stage. I'll like read it once or twice, and then just after that, it's just you say it so many times on stage, you just kind of know it because you've said it
so many times.
Like you've said it 20 times before in front of an audience. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still like have like forgotten stuff on stage, but when like now that I'm more comfortable on stage and if I forget something, I just kind of move past it and don't let people fully know I've forgotten something. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I have forgotten like the second half of a joke before, and I just like say the first half. I'm like, oh, I'm blanking right now. God, my bad, guys. Let me just move on. And yeah, so you can't always hide it, but it doesn't happen very often
I guess you
anymore.
learn from that situation, though. You go, fuck, man, if I get in that situation again, I better have a backup plan.
Here. I've done like that was when I tried to do a joke that I hadn't done in like a few months. And I was like, oh, I know the joke. And then I started in on the joke. I was like, what the fuck was the joke?
Yeah.
And I just don't remember it. It's like, it's been so long since I said it. I don't even remember what the joke is.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. Yeah, I'm going to have to go down there and check out that club, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Like
Where
are they at?
103rd and State Line.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of by Leawood, which is where I work.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Independence of Leawood, huh?
Yeah. It's
How's
like
that drive?
I live like on the edge of Independence, so it's I mean, with traffic it takes me less than half an hour. If there's like no traffic to get to my house from from my house to the club, it's like 22 minutes. Yeah.
They don't have anything out there in Independence, like towards like Blue Springs. Any clubs out there?
No clubs, but they have like there's an open mic. I actually host an open mic in Independence on Fridays at Apex Aleworks Brewery
really?
and Tap Room. Yeah, it's a pretty cool place. I like going there. Yeah. But yeah, Independence doesn't have any like clubs or anything. They would just have like bar shows.
And you said, I mean, you kind of grown to those then, I guess, because I know you said they're kind of rough.
They're a lot harder than comedy clubs, but
I guess kind of push you to
get
out of your comfort zone.
I like doing them. I don't dislike doing them. Like they're a great time.
Just a different type of vibe.
They help you grow. You just can't go in with the same mindset necessarily you would if it was like a comedy club setting.
Gotcha.
You gotta like kind of go in and like be mentally prepared for it to be a different kind of show. And like not all bar shows are bad. Some bar shows are like great.
Yeah.
Like I did one out in Odessa, and it was like in this big bar with very tall ceilings, very open. And it's like, well, and it was packed. There's a lot of people. They were all talking. I'm like, well, this is going to be terrible. Because what I thought was going to happen was we were going to start the comedy and nobody was going to stop talking. And we would just have to like shout into the void for however long. But Odessa's kind of a smaller town, and everybody, like, they prepared for this show. Everybody was there for the show. They were all super excited about it. So when we started, everybody just shut up and listened, and it was a great show.
Yeah.
But I went into it thinking it was going to be terrible.
Yeah.
But it was really good.
Yeah, you probably had to keep your. I seen that Catholic joke that you had on Instagram. You're probably like, let me hold on to that one. I might not talk about that.
They actually loved that one. Small town, they loved that one. Yeah.
I've always wondered if some places you kind of gotta be like, this one probably isn't gonna work here.
Oh yeah,
I just say fuck it.
Yeah,
just kind of go with it.
Mix of that. Yeah. I've been in places where I'm like, I'm definitely not doing this joke, and then I've been in places where just I'm like, you know what, I know this probably isn't gonna go well, but I'm gonna give it a shot.
Try.
Yeah, definitely.
Dude, I think one of your funniest ones I seen was that teacher one. That was pretty funny, and that teacher kind of shouted out. And
oh yeah, that was a while ago. Yeah,
like
I don't even remember what I said.
Somebody who's messing with a student.
Yeah, that's what it was. Right. Yeah, that was just some guy that was just some guy in the crowd.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, that was pretty
I'm not very good at crowd work, so whenever I'm able to do a little bit of crowd work, it feels amazing.
I think that's one of my favorics.
Thank you.
People work the crowd. Yeah, that one, but like crowd work in
general.
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Those are the best clips you can get to like post.
Yeah, because I mean, like that teacher joke. I mean, I was fucking dying laughing, dude. I'm like, this guy, like it just. I think watching it and how perfectly it sets up,
right?
It's like, God damn, like, did he pay that guy to sit that fucking seat? Like,
sometimes it feels like that, right?
It feels like that. It's like, damn, man, like that kind of like really went into his favor. But yeah, I think those are always the most funny. And like when you're from the crowd's perspective, anytime they start doing crowd work, it's like, oh shit, everyone's turning to look at that guy, you know, or girl that they're fucking with, and waiting for someone to get pissed off. I think that's kind of what a lot of people look for, you know, see who's gonna get mad.
I just hosted for at the comedy club for Jeffrey Osmus last weekend, and I started off one of the shows asking like, is anybody celebrating anything tonight? Anybody like birthdays, anniversaries, anything? And in the front row, it was this couple, and the woman was like, yeah, and starts pointing, and her boyfriend was like, don't fucking see anything. I was like, relax, man. Jesus Christ. It's like, relax, dude. I mean, we're not gonna go in too hard here. Jesus.
Some people just have an ego, man. Yeah, and they're too scared to get that.
He was like terrified to like be spoken to. He's like, don't say it. They're gonna talk to me. I'm gonna get nervous. I don't know what to do.
Dude, I think from a guy's perspective too, it's like I've seen some comedians go hard on some dude's chick.
Yeah.
And you're just like, God damn, dude. Like, what the hell would I do in that? Like,
right.
I've seen dudes call him bitch and like get all crazy with them. And it's supposed to be funny, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But sometimes I'm like, God damn, dude, if I was that guy, I don't know what the fuck I would do. I'd be like, would I look less of a man if I didn't fucking say something back? But then again, I know it's a show. He's just fucking around. But I mean, I've seen some guys go hard. So I think that's why some dudes kind of clam up. They're like, hey, don't bring any attention over here. Right? Shut the fuck up.
We're just here to enjoy. I don't want to be a part of it.
We're here to enjoy. I'm not trying to be a part of the fucking show. Be a fucking skit on Instagram.
Right, exactly. I mean? Yeah.
But nah, that's cool. Who was the guy that you said you hosted for?
Jeffrey Osmus.
Is he a local guy?
No. He's he was coming from New York.
Oh, okay.
He's very funny.
Dude, man, there's so many comedians, man.
Oh,
I feel like when I was younger, it was like a fucking handful. And now there's so many, it's hard to keep up with everybody.
Definitely,
how many, like, local? Is there pretty big guys that are kind of coming up?
So we have like a pretty big scene, and there's a lot of people doing like local shows around. So I mean, there's some very, very funny people in Kansas City. Yeah.
Yeah, I've always wondered. Like, I don't really know. I don't have any comedian friends, so it's like I don't know who to ask. I don't know if there's guys like kind of like coming up like that are pretty big to look out for, or like.
Yeah, there's lots of really funny guys. There's Jake Redpath is very funny. He's got a podcast that's like I think it's called like Jaking Off or something. Manisha Williams is hilarious. She works at the comedy club a lot. She's great. She's helped me out a lot. She was one of the two people that was I went to Chicago with.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot of really funny people in Kansas City. It's a great scene.
That's cool, man. So everyone's pretty like welcoming and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
It's not too much of a. I've heard stories of it kind of being. I guess they say it's more of a long time ago, but it used to be like, nobody wanted to fuck with anybody because they wanted their shine.
Right. Yeah.
But
it's at least in Kansas City, it's not like that.
That's
but
good.
Comedians are generally good people, like cool people to hang out with. Like I mean, just there's people who like to joke around and have fun.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. So yeah, man. So that's pretty cool. I'll definitely have to check those people out, man. I'm always looking for, I mean, we see all the ones on all these podcasts and all these famous ones, but
right.
I like to see local, to kind of support local, comedians and go watch them. But and do they have like kind of like a comedy festival here in Kansas City or anything like that?
Yeah, actually, they
kind of like when was check them all out and like
There's they have the Fountain City Comedy Festival, which was like the beginning of last month, I think.
Mm-hmm. Where's that at?
Actually, I think it was toward the end of last month. It's all over the city. Like there's I don't know how many shows there was. I wasn't a part of it. I didn't submit in time. I forgot about it. Mm-hmm. But there was a bunch of shows all over the city that were all part of this one festival. They got a bunch of comedians from like the local scene, and then they also got a bunch of comedians from like other places to come in and do comedy, and a lot of great shows. It was pretty cool thing to happen. This is the second one that they've had. Like last year was the first one. I gotta set a reminder next year to submit and be a part of it.
Yeah. So, another venue I used to like, the Starlight.
Have you ever
been to any shows there?
Yeah, I haven't been to any comedy shows there, but I've been there for a couple other things.
It was Joe Rogan.
Yeah,
he was there. He was like, "Is that a fucking train?" This is a train going through. I'm like, this guy.
Bill Burr was there, like I think last year.
Yeah. Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Bill Burr. I haven't watched too much of his stuff. I've seen some of it on really Netflix. Funny. I think he's got a couple of them on there. I'm a big Mark Norman.
Okay,
dude, that guy is fucking.
Yeah, he's really funny.
It doesn't even try to be, man. Like their Save Our Parks podcast they do on Joe Rogan. Oh man, dude, like those guys have me howling. And Shane Gillis.
Yeah, his last special was really good.
Was it?
Yeah, it was great. Have you seen it?
I got to see it yet. I've seen it on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. It's Beautiful Dogs or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very good. Definitely recommend watching that.
But hey, tell me a little more about this podcast, man. So you're going to be hosting it now?
Yeah. Me, Jacob Moran, and Jess. I don't know her last name.
You're like just meeting everybody,
right? Right. Yeah. I just met her a couple weeks ago. I'm just now realizing I don't know her last name.
Hey, it's all good, man. You're going to find out now.
Yeah.
If she watches this.
Right.
Yeah, man, you guys are pretty funny, man. It's cool that they added you on, man.
Yeah,
you know,
no, it's a lot of fun.
That way, I always find like having multiple hosts, you know, kind of make it a lot easier to do a podcast.
More people to bounce things off.
Yeah, I used to do a podcast, you know, before Purple Pill, and we had 3 hosts. I think it was 4 total. And, you know, I'm kind of a one-man show over here. So, you know, I'm over here looking at the, you know, mics, you know, all the levels, cameras, double-checking and everything. Yeah. And so, and have to engage and have conversation as well, you know. So it's kind of difficult sometimes. But I remember when I used to have the other guys, it used to be nice because, you know, they would chime in on their ideas and stuff like that. It turned 3 hours would go by quick. Yeah. You know, so it was actually pretty nice. But yeah, and then you guys are the No Solution is the one who does the production.
Like, they're the guys that produce it.
Yeah, man. They started a little bit before me. I think like a year before me. Yeah. And I think they started in like 2020 when they used to have their show. Yeah. Which, by the way, what happened? Can you go ask them why they took their show down, man? Yeah. I'm going to have to have him in one day. Hopefully he'll come in and talk to me because that show was fucking hilarious, man. I used to listen to that show all the time. But
I'll ask.
Yeah. But yeah, man, they're a pretty good crew, man. I used to like listening to their stuff a lot. Yeah. Actually, listening to them, it was kind of around the same time I was buying the equipment. Yeah. And it was kind of a good motivator. I'm like, man, these guys are funny. You know what I mean? Like, I got to get my shit going. Right. Like, you know, I feel like, you know, I've always, you know, like it was a passion of mine. I didn't know if I was going to be any good at it, but I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to go with it. And, you know, I got a lot of good feedback, you know, when I first started. So.
Yeah, it's always one thing to like see like super successful people doing their thing, but when you see somebody that's like closer to your level doing it, it's like, okay, so this is something that like can be done. Yeah, like I don't have
to like a podcast on YouTube that's got millions of views. Yeah, and you're like
millions of subscribers, and it's like, well, that's unattainable. You see somebody more local doing it, it's like, oh, so I mean, it can be done.
Yeah, and I think I'm like, well, I listen to it. Surely there's a couple of hundred people out here that want to listen to it, and I'm not chasing fame, man. I could give 2 fucks about that. Like, honestly, I think I finally found something in life that I don't mind doing. Yeah, you know what I mean.
That's how I'm not looking
comedy. I'm not looking for anything out of it. It's just an hour to 2 hours. I mean, shit, I've done podcasts almost 3 hours. I don't mind doing it, and I have a good time. I mean, and I think my goal is to meet new people. You know what I mean? I've always been a curious person. I've always loved to meet. Also, if you hear this upstairs, this is my dog walking around in my home studio. But I've always liked to meet new people, man, and just stories. You know what I mean? Like when I see people, I see like for you, instance, like I seen you on a podcast, like, oh man, that guy looks cool, man. I kind of want to break out of my comfort zone. Let me throw a DM to him, man. Let me see if he'll come on. You know what I mean? And I've done it before to a couple other people. Luckily, you responded. You know, yeah. Finally got a response, man, for the show, man. You're actually the first one that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like I don't think I've ever interviewed somebody by myself. That I didn't know. So I was actually kind of curious how that would work out. I'm like,
it was in my my requests in DM, so I didn't even like see like a notification from it. I just happened to like click on it and see it, and I was like, cool, fuck it. Why not?
No, and that was cool, man. I was like, damn, I'm surprised he said yeah. You know what I mean? Because some guys would be creeped out, especially when I tell them, yeah, it's an in-home studio.
Yeah. just so the people listening know, he messaged me and said, hey, man, you want to do this podcast? I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, I'm down. And then he says, cool, here's the address. It's an in-home studio just so you don't show up, see this house, and think, oh, no, I'm going to get raped. I'm like, here's a tip. If you don't want someone to feel like they're going to get raped, don't bring up rape. You know?
Hey, man, I was trying to be courteous. I didn't want you to stroll up and think, oh, you're coming to some high-end dollar studio and then fucking see, oh, I'm going into somebody's house. Like, what the fuck? He's going to have me come through the garage.
Right. He told me, he's like, you can bring a friend if you want to feel safer.
Yeah, to feel safe.
Yeah. I did bring a friend. I brought my friend Jimmy here.
Oh, there you go. Fuck, man, that's nice.
I'm
what is
kidding.
That, a 7-incher right there?
It's like a foot.
It's like a
no,
foot.
I'm just kidding.
Damn, man.
No, I definitely threw this in my pocket just for the bit, just in case we circled around to this topic. I was like, I need this.
I
for
thought
the
you
bit.
were gonna pull out a gun. I was gonna give you a high five, like fuck yeah, dude. I was like, well, that's the first time a gun's been flashed on my show. Hell yeah, maybe I'll get 200 more views. That's funny. Yeah, man.
Or flagged and taken down.
Yeah. And then after I said that, I was like, well, I could have not have told you. And, and then you didn't even type back. I'm like, oh, well, I don't know if he really thinks he's going to get raped or not. And then I messaged him later on and I'm like, hey man, we still good? And you're like, yeah. I'm like, oh, thank God. He doesn't think he's going to get raped.
Right.
Good thing. But yeah, man. So like, I was kind of wondering, I was like, man, how's this going to go? You know what I mean? Cause, I was like, I haven't met this guy. What the fuck am I going to ask him? I was like, well, I'm just going to wing it, see how it works out,
Fuck it,
so
we'll do
far,
it live.
It's not been too bad.
Yeah, no
plus
awkward pauses.
I also, kind of like what I was telling you about your guys' podcast. I'm not trying to target certain people.
Yeah.
I'm trying to just be me, and hopefully people who like it will come. You
right.
know what I mean? The only bad thing about me is consistency. That's the only thing. But man, I have a hard time finding guests, man. I see so many people that are like, oh yeah, man, I'd love to be on your podcast. Boom, boom, boom. We'll talk for an hour off the mic. You know what I mean? And I go, hey man, if you ever want, come on my podcast and we'll talk. Oh yeah, I'd love to, but then when it comes around, like, hey, you want to come over this day? It's like, oh, I don't know, man. I got this, and this, and it's like. Well, I mean, I can't beg people, or blame them, it can be a little intimidating. I think I'm just used to it by now. You know what I mean? I really don't care. Surely people have looked at my stuff and been like, oh, this guy's an idiot, but I don't care. You know what I mean? So I just kind of move on with it. But
you gotta start making people pick a date for you.
Yeah.
That way they're the ones choosing.
They're the ones choosing. I think people just get intimidated, man, when they come down to the studio and they check this out, which is... it's not very. It's a little ass studio. It's not like it's.
You don't need a lot.
High end production here. You know what I mean? Like,
all you need is a couple microphones. Really, that's all you need.
Dude, believe it or not, those cameras right there, I bought off of eBay used.
Really?
Yeah, dude. Hey man, I'm not fucking growing money out of my ass over here, man.
Right.
I bought a couple of things. I was just like, man, this will work. A couple barking dogs in the background in my basement. So it'll be all right.
Yeah, you don't need a lot.
Yeah, I try, man. I try, but hell yeah, man. So you guys post what like once a week or something like that?
We record every Monday and we post every Monday.
Every Monday.
That's the goal, at least. That's what we plan on doing.
Yeah. That's cool, man. And you guys are just kind of keep it the same,
We meet every Monday at 6. I know that now. The last week, for some reason, I went home. So last week was the second one I did with them, and I got home from work and was eating dinner or whatever. I was planning to show up at 7 because in my head, for some reason, I thought we were meeting at 7. I get a text at like 6:10. Hey, Brock, you almost here? And I was like, fuck, it's 6. So they just started the podcast without me. Oh, right. So I showed up like 15 minutes late. Yeah. And we were like dressed in Halloween costumes. Yeah. I was dressed as Marty McFly, a time traveler, and I showed up late.
Hey, when were you the leprechaun? I just seen you randomly in a story.
Oh yeah,
I was like, this guy did not wear a leprechaun costume.
That's for the podcast coming out next Monday. Oh, is it? Yeah, we were doing a different costume every day for every podcast for the month of October.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, man. That's funny. That's good. Where you guys are? What is that, like a event place, or what is that?
It's an apartment.
Just like a room.
It's like a corner little art room in an apartment building.
That's a pretty nice studio, man.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I need to check something out like that. That way I can get some better audio here.
Yeah.
But hell yeah, man, that's cool. Any future plans you got coming up? Any big things coming up?
Just not really. Just trying to keep, doing as much comedy as I can. Yeah. Trying to keep doing. You said you working on this podcast
at that bar.
Yeah, at the bar hosting? Or the comedy club.
Or which one do you do it at? You said you hosted.
Because I host an open mic on Fridays.
And where's that at?
That's the one in Independence, Apex Aleworks Brewery and Tap Room. Yeah.
So hosting, like you're the guy that comes out like in between comedians.
Yeah. So like if I'm hosting, it's not bad. Like I'll go up and do like 10 to 15 minutes up top, and then after that, I just got to introduce the next guy.
Do you kind of do jokes in between, or?
I'll joke. Sometimes I'll joke around a little bit. I won't do like 5 more minutes of like written material, but like I'll maybe go off something like the last comic said, like address somebody in the audience, like keep the fun little banter going, and then bring up the next guy. Yeah. So yeah, it's really not anything different than like other comedy, like just doing a spot. It's just gotta be a friendly face to bring up the next guy, really. Yeah. Do you enjoy that a lot? Oh yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's great. Yeah. And,
I'm guessing not everybody hosts.
No, it's a lot of people are trying to get to a point where they can host at the comedy club, but yeah, I mean, you got to be like funny enough to do it. Like you can.
And you host there too?
Yeah. I host there. I've hosted there quite a bit, honestly. Like last year, I hosted there a lot, and getting to host there has made me so much better as a comedian. Because I did it a bunch. 2, if I'm hosting like a weekend, that's 5 shows over a weekend. So that's 5 times I'm performing in 1 week, as opposed to five times of like 10 to 15 minutes each, as opposed to like going out 3-4 open mics and doing 5 minutes a piece.
Yeah, getting your reps in.
Yeah,
it's pretty dope, man.
Yeah, so it's definitely made me a lot better getting the opportunity to host there.
What's up with the blazer? I've been wanting to ask. What the hell made you want to wear a blazer?
I wear a suit every time I perform doing stand up.
It's kind of like when they used to dress up in suits, like in the older comedy shows. But you just said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna wear a blazer and put a t-shirt."
It's become part of my comedic persona is like to wear a suit. Like I'm the only Kansas City comedian that wears a suit every time he performs. Like I don't just do it on shows. I'll do it just like for a 5-minute open mic to go out and do.
When I seen you show up, I was like, I hope he wears the blazer. I was like, we'll see.
Yeah, if he does. This is my
how many of those you got?
This is my gender reveal outfit.
Yeah, that's what it looks like, man.
I think I'm up to 20 suit jackets now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Where are you going? You fucking thrifting for those? Or what?
I got a bunch of them from like JCPenney's. Like when I first started, JCPenney's was having a closing sale in Independence. They were just closing that store down. So I probably started off getting like 8 jackets at least, and all 50% off or more. So I don't spend a lot on what I wear, but I try to make it look like I do.
Dude, hit up the thrift stores, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I found a $300 suit jacket.
Really?
We were going to a party last weekend, and I was like, "Fuck, man, I don't have any." I got my wedding suit jacket. I was like, and I've already worn that thing fucking many times. I gotta get a new one. And my wife was telling me, she's like, "Let's go check out a thrift store. I bet you can find one." I'm like, "I'm not wearing no fucking." You know how guys are. We don't get rid of shit, man. Like we'll wear that shit till there's fucking holes in it,
right?
Know? And even then, we'll probably still keep it for a while, you know. And so I was like, "Hey, dude, guys don't get rid of clothes like chicks. All right, surely because they go thrifting all the time. They always find badass clothes. I'm like, well, I go in there and I'm looking at some dude's Levi's from 30 years ago that are fucking relaxed. So I'm not wearing those. You know what I mean? Like I need my shit at least a little fitted, but." I go there and I find like a jacket and I'm like, damn, $20 still got the fucking tags on it, man. Hell yeah, dude.
That's awesome.
And all I had to do was get it tailored. I was like, cool. Oh, shit, $50, $80 jacket, not bad.
Not bad, dude.
Know what I mean?
It's pretty good.
I know, dude. I need to start getting more into thrifting. I can find shit like that, dude.
Yeah, it's hard. I think it's hard to find like really good stuff like that at thrift stores. Like that's you can every once in a while, but for the most part, it's just like normal plain shit.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, I'll keep trying. I don't know, man. That was the only success I had on it.
Yeah, but. I've gone to a thrift store a few times looking for like suit jackets. I've had no luck.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you wear? Like a medium? I guess so. You probably got fancier ones.
Suit jackets are like it. Their sizes are so fucking weird. Because like some of them, I have a couple that are like medium. Yeah. And then others that are like 40 slim. So it's like no suit jackets are like that use the same set of measurements. It feels very random.
Yeah.
But so yeah.
So when is your next show coming up? Like when do you have like where you're not hosting it, but like what is it called, the main or whatever, like the main?
Just
do you think how hard is it to get one of those?
Like the headlining spot?
Yeah, headlining. Yeah, that's
it can be pretty difficult. Like you
like,
got to
have something for local guys to try out, or do you kind of have to earn your rep to get up to that point?
Yeah, it's definitely a spot you kind of have to earn because like headliners,
they're not gonna let anybody just
right.
go up.
The headliners typically doing between like one that's like the main draw, and two they're typically doing like if you're at a club they're doing like 45 minutes to an hour. Mm-hmm. If you're doing like a bar show they're doing probably like 30 minutes at least. And being able to do 30 minutes of like all funny jokes is not an easy thing to do.
For sure.
It's kind of hard. It takes a while to build up.
I mean, that's kind of what you're doing right now, right?
Yeah,
I
can
all
do
your 15 minutes and all that stuff. You're working it out to the point to where you have
right.
That.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. But
Gotcha.
Sometimes it takes like time to like polish a joke and get it to like a point where it like feels done.
How many do you throw out? Do you ever throw them out, or do you just kind of keep them just in case?
I keep them like in my back pocket. Like I'll revisit them after a while, but like if a joke's not working after several times of like trying it, then I'll like, all right, I'll move away from it. But like I don't just, it's still like in a notebook at home. So every once in a while I'll go back and like look through it again and like maybe revisit something old, and then maybe I can do something with it. Mm-hmm. Like I've had jokes before that weren't all that great or weren't all that funny, and so I kind of just went away from them. But later on I had a different joke that was doing pretty good, and the old joke kind of fit within that joke. Mm-hmm. And it goes with what I'm talking about, so it made the original joke I threw out funnier. It's usually not like the big punchline, but it's like it gets me another laugh on my way to the big punchline.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't really throw anything out per se.
That's pretty cool, man. Yeah, I've always wondered that because I didn't know if some things were just like, this is not working.
Yeah, sometimes sometimes a joke just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not as funny as you'd hoped it was.
Do you have like a specific genre you stick to, or you just kind of all over the place? Like, I know some comedians are kind of geared towards certain
right.
Genres.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't
keep yourself just open.
Yeah, I just kind of do whatever I think is funny. Like, like when people have asked me before, and I don't really know how to like describe my comedy style exactly. I just do what I like to do. I like do what I think is funny, pretty much.
Yeah.
But
I've always wondered that if you just kind of like some guys are like certain like genres. I guess you say. I don't know if it was ever intentional or if that's just kind of their thing. I guess they gravitate to.
Like some of my there's some comedy. There's some comedians in Kansas City that are like one-liner comics.
Yeah, or some that are real heavy political. Based
very political.
Yeah.
I got a few one-liners. I got a few stories. I got a few just like what ifs, and so I don't really have like a specific lane I stick to.
Yeah, you got like the real dark ones.
I've got some dark ones.
Yeah. Dude, it's funny. I've always wondered, and I don't know if you know, I don't know much about your childhood, but they always say like comedians got to have like a fucked up past to kind of, I guess that could help.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I guess, but
yeah.
I mean, I don't know if that's ever true. If you got to like go through a bunch of shit in life in order to be funny.
It's not true for everybody, for sure. But I think I don't know. It's just you can gain a sense of humor from like anything. You just got to have a good sense of humor, is all.
Yeah.
Like I think there's a certain level of like intelligence that goes along with being funny and having a great sense of humor. Mm-hmm. I had a pretty good childhood growing up. I didn't think I had like anything super bad happen or anything like my family never really struggled all that much. I mean, like we were like lower middle class. So I mean, it wasn't like it wasn't perfect, but it
No
I
one
never,
says.
there wasn't like any
Yeah.
days we had to worry about not eating or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
Always had a roof over our heads.
I just know a lot of comedians draw from kind of their upbringing. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? I don't know if you kind of do that too. Just kind of
Yeah, I mean,
funny stuff. You know, there's shit when you're a kid
Right.
that you don't really realize until you get older and go,
Yeah.
oh, dude, that was fucking weird, man. Like,
yeah,
what the
I
fuck
mean,
were
I
we
got
doing?
I got some stuff like that, but
Yeah.
it's not like super dark and like
Yeah.
if I told it to a therapist, they'd be like, "Oh my god, are you
Yeah.
okay?" kind of stuff.
The
Like
therapist needs a
right,
therapist now.
yeah, yeah, nothing like that.
Yeah. Did you grow up in Independence?
I did, yeah. I've lived there my whole life.
Yeah. Okay. What school did you go to?
I went to Truman High School.
Truman
Yeah.
High School. Okay.
Yeah,
How was that out there? You always just been school's always been all right for you?
yeah. I
Wanted to get the hell out like everybody else?
pretty much. I was always smart and like I didn't. When I got to high school, I realized like when like I was the one picking what classes I wanted to do.
Mhm.
So I was just like, I don't have to challenge myself if I don't want to.
Yeah.
So like I could have taken like harder class. I could have taken like AP classes and like gotten through or whatever. But I was like, I'll take what I need to graduate
Mhm.
and just have a good time while I'm here.
You didn't have any plans to
It
like
was,
go to college or anything after that?
No, in high school, high school is when like the second half of high school is when I started like considering comedy as like a career.
Gotcha.
But I never really wanted to go to college in high school
Mhm.
because I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. So I didn't want to like go to school, waste all this money, and by the end of it still not know, because then I'm just in debt and still lost
Like a
in
lot
life.
of people are.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, my plan was like, before I like decided to try like doing comedy, my plan was I will figure something out and I'll get a job, and like when I figure out what I want to do, if it requires school, I'll go to school for it. If not, I don't want to go. I don't want to go to school just because.
Dude,
like-
that's such a hard question to
It- yeah.
you know, because I was the same way in school. Like, I even had like early release for work. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I only had to go to school half day, like my
Mhm.
senior year. And I remember the counselor was like, "Oh, you're going to be a worker, you know, blah, blah, blah." And at the time I was like, "Oh, that's pretty dope. I'm a young kid. They think I'm a hard worker, blah, blah, blah."
Yeah.
But I remember them always asking me like, you know, what do you want to do for your future? And I was just like, I'm fucking 17, 18. I don't know. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And it's such a hard decision to have to make at such a young age to figure out, okay, they want you to go to college right afterwards. Well, when you go to college, I guess in the first 2 years, you get your gen eds or, you know,
Yeah.
just your basic courses done, which I should have done. I was an idiot. I had an A+ program and I fucking flushed that down the toilet. And
Yeah, I never did the A+ program.
yeah, I
was
did
way too
it, and
busy.
then I went for like 2 months to
Yeah.
Maple Woods, and you know, I had a kid when I was young. I was like 18, so it's just, and that can, you know, excuse for sure, but I should have finished it out, but I didn't know what I wanted to go for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and it's crazy. I'm 31. I'm about to be 32 in January. Still don't know what the fuck I want to do. Like,
Yeah.
and it's great. Like, it's so funny. I've got a younger brother, Adriano. He's like 18, 19, and literally he's going to college right now at UCM.
Cool.
Has known what he wanted to do since he was like 15. I'm
Yeah.
like, how do you do it, man?
Some people do. Some
Yeah, they
people
just-
don't ever figure it out.
They just figured, yeah, and so,
Yeah.
dude, that's fucking scary, man.
Yeah.
You know, and with you doing comedy, it's like you found that way,
Mm-hmm.
and your passion, but I'm sure in the back of your head, you're like, fuck, man, you know, how many people make it in this?
Yeah.
You know, like, what am I going to do if this doesn't work out? And at the same time, you're like, man, I don't want to put that energy out there.
Mhm.
And I just want to focus. But does that ever come across your mind where you're like, backup plan just in case?
For
you
sure.
know?
Yeah. Like, I don't,
Or are you just like all in?
I'm going to give it all I got. I'm not going to just like half-ass it. Like my goal is to
Well, I
like
feel like if you have a backup plan,
yeah.
sometimes that
that could
you have too much of a safety
Right,
net
you know,
to where you just go, I don't have to put my all.
you don't have that
know?
motivation of
Mhm.
like this has to work.
Yeah, because some of these
But-
guys, you hear their stories and they're like, yeah, I was sleeping in my car. Blah, blah.
Yeah.
And that grind pushes you to want to get out of that
Right.
situation. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And,
But then also there's for some people a safety net is like a good thing. Like Will Ferrell, I think unless I'm remembering this correctly, but I'm pretty sure I heard him talk about how he like went to school and like he had like a backup if like the comedy thing didn't work for him. But he's like, I'm gonna give it a shot, and like it worked out for him. Good for him. But he had like a backup plan thing.
Yeah, it's crazy to think Will Ferrell had a backup plan, but at the time, Will Ferrell was just Will Ferrell. Like he wasn't
just some guy,
big movie star comedian.
Just some guy. Yeah. No,
did he do comedy, or was he just a funny actor?
I'm pretty sure he's done some stand up, but he went on to do like SNL, some more like sketch comedy and shit.
Fuck,
yeah.
I mean, how many movies does that guy has? Like,
lots.
I think Talladega Nights is like one of my favorite ones.
That's a great movie. I love that movie.
Dude, I could watch that movie all the time. Maybe because it was on like TNT every fucking weekend, dude. You have those movies on TV. Yeah. It's like, how many times have I watched Saving Private Ryan because it's on every Friday night? You know what I mean? It's like, fuck. Could they find another movie to put on here?
Right, definitely.
But yeah, so like you think that, so in your mind, you kind of think about a backup plan, but you haven't kind of figured that out yet. I mean, I guess what you're doing now is a good job, right? I mean,
yeah, it's not a bad job. Right now I'm still like, I'm gonna be like a working comedian. It's like even if I'm not like the level of comedian like that everybody knows, like super famous all over TV, doing movies and stuff, if I can just get to a point where like I can be a comedian like and not need a day job, like I'd be all right with that.
Yeah.
But
you're
like
not,
just
you're not out here like
I just want to do comedy.
Of course, if you were at that level, you'd great. But you're just like, hey, if it pays my bills.
Yeah. I'm not going to stop if I get to that point, but if I can at least make it to that point, I'll be happy.
Yeah. Dude, simple things, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think some people and I've always told them that, like, even me, dude, like, whatever I find in life, I'm not looking to make millions of dollars off of. I would love to, but man, I just want to be able to go to a restaurant and not look at the price of food. You know what I mean? Like, I just want to be able to order and fucking pay for it. That's rich to me.
Yeah, that's
having my bills paid and not worrying about it.
It's also a very attainable goal too. Like that's
it's getting harder, man, in this fucking world, man, dude.
Yeah, no, I hear you,
dude. I mean, shit, because we're about 10 years apart in age. I mean, I always tell people I moved out when I was 18. I bought a house in 2013. It was twice the size as this house. Yeah. And I paid the same price. I paid $100,000 for it, dude. I mean, I think back then I was getting paid $16-17 an hour. Yeah. And I was able to afford a fucking house. And, of course my wife worked too, and she got paid pretty decent, but to see 10 years, like I knew what I was able to have and I didn't worry about bills and shit like that. I had a good, decent career and, it was never anything I wanted to do, but it paid good. You know what I mean?
That's where I'm at right now.
Yeah, it paid good. It was just enough. I think I did get burnt out later on. That's why I ended up going to that other job I just left. But anytime you do a job for so long, I'm sure there's NFL players out there that get burnt out and going to practice. But yeah, man, just to see how the economy is, man, it's insane to think how hard it is for especially your age group, you said 22, right? Yeah. I mean, my brother, I think I've got a brother that's 25 and it's hard for him and he's got a fucking college degree. You know what I mean? And it's hard to find a decent paying job out there. And when you do find one, it's not enough to live off. Like, it's hard to live off of it. You're living paycheck to paycheck. You go to the grocery store, it's like $400 for 2 weeks of groceries.
Yeah, it's insane. It's crazy.
I kind of wonder where, do you live on your own?
I do, yeah.
Do you? Mm-hmm. So you know how it is, man. I'm sure it's rent and it's out the ass.
Going to the grocery store, I dread it, man. It's terrible.
And if you go out to eat, you're paying even more.
Yeah.
And nowadays, dude, oh my God, we were just cracking up about this not too long ago. Anytime you see a white tablet, it's like, damn, I know I'm about to pay $10 more, dude, because they'll have,
this is bullshit.
You got to tip everywhere now, dude. I mean, I'm tipping at places I didn't even know you were supposed to tip.
Right. It's ridiculous. Yeah. I hate tipping culture so much.
Yeah. At this point, dude, there's a meme. God damn, what's that actor's name from Spider-Man? He was the Green Goblin.
Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He goes, do you want a tip? Or there's a poor dude sitting at the sidewalk holding a sign, and he looks at him and he goes, I'm somewhat of a poor myself.
Yeah.
Like, bro, that's how
Yeah.
I feel. I literally feel like that.
Right.
And I'm going to start just telling them that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm somewhat of a poor myself. You know, I can't tip everywhere, dude.
I know.
You know, I respect servers and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I understand that's how they make their money. I'm always tipping at 20%, or you're supposed to tip, whatever.
Right.
But when I go and I just want a coffee and I've got a tip and I've got
Yeah.
to go get my food and I've got a
It's
tip
crazy.
and there's not even serving me. I got to go and, you know, bring this or go and give them my order, and all they got to do is just bring it out to me. It's like,
Right.
God damn, dude. Like,
And
I don't understand.
One thing I hate is like tips are supposed to like part of like tipping is like a waiter comes, he tries to be the best waiter he can be or whatever, and then
Take your order.
if he's a good waiter, you tip him.
Yeah.
Right. Like that's what it like should be. But like there are some places like you pay before you even get anything.
Yeah.
And like they know what they're getting tipped before they do anything.
Yep.
So it's
Oh,
no
they add in
longer
gratuity.
right. It's like it's no longer like you do a good job and you'll make a good tip. It's like you better tip well if you want me to do a good job. Like it's
probably
some places
because
are
there's
like
a lot of
yeah.
assholes out there that don't tip. That's
Right,
probably
yeah.
why. And that sucks that they fucked
Yeah.
it up for everybody.
Yeah.
You know.
But
Now,
still,
like
it's
you said,
like-
now they don't even have to do a good service.
Right.
You don't know
It's-
how many
yeah.
fucking asshole waiters I've had that it's like, oh well, they just already get tips, so they don't
Yeah.
give a fuck.
It's crazy.
But yeah, man. I mean, it's getting to the point.
There's
where
like self checkout machines now are having like asking for a tip.
oh, dude, no,
like-
it's not even
it's-
that.
what the
It's
fuck?
do you want to round up for donations? And
There's
then
that,
it
yeah.
pisses me off because I was so stupid for so long and would do it. And then come to find out, I was reading an article, only like 10% of that fucking
Yeah.
money goes towards the actual donation.
That's crazy.
It's like, where's the rest of it going? And I might be wrong. I don't know if it's
Yeah.
all,
Right.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I haven't heard good things about like Salvation Army and
Yeah.
all these other big ones. You know,
Yeah.
some of these, they say some of these guys that are salary employees are getting paid like 80, 100 grand a
Yeah.
year, some shit. Like, isn't this supposed to be donation? Like,
Right. I had a friend in high school that we did something called Relay for Life, and it's like a cancer like raising money for cancer, and basically it was like 12 hours. We'd like go to the school and like on like a Friday night at like 5:00 or 6:00 or something like that, and we'd stay until 5 or 6 on Saturday morning, and we'd go home and there'd be like a whole bunch of activities all night long, basically just raising a whole bunch of money for cancer. And my senior year, I had a friend that like did research on like the American Cancer Society, which is like the people that we were doing it with, and he like looked into how much actually went to cancer research, and then he's like, fuck this, because it wasn't a lot. It was like 20% or something low. And he's just like, yeah, fuck this. So he like showed up and was just like spitting facts about how terrible he thought the American Cancer Society was.
Dude, it's fucked up, man. I mean, they've been fucking over people who are dying.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
But,
It's
yeah,
terrible.
I don't get it, man. But yeah, and then self-checkouts. I mean, you're talking about
Yeah.
how smart is Walmart and all these other Home Depot, all of them. Hey, we're going to raise prices on all this food and products and all this stuff. But you know what else we're going to do? We're going to make you ring it up and bag it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And do
Doing
all this
all the
shit
work.
yourself. And we're going to cut 20 of our employees that need jobs ringing your shit up. I don't get it, man.
Crazy. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's a weird world we're kind of going in right now, man.
Yeah.
And, I mean, AI is fucking coming for everybody right
That's
now.
that's the new topic.
Honestly, I wouldn't mind if they got some AI in some of these fast food. I don't eat that much fast food anymore, but dude, I get tired of fucking going through like a Wendy's and just getting some asshole that's just like throws my food out the fucking window. It's like, goddamn. Is that one of them robots coming?
Right.
But yeah, man, it's crazy.
It is crazy. The whole AI thing is crazy to me because like there's all this AI talk going on now, and it's like, has nobody seen the Terminator?
Well, dude,
like I feel like
they've talked about it. Supposedly there were some, and don't ever come here for actual facts. All right, go look this shit up yourself. But they were saying how Zuckerberg and Elon Musk, they were like having meetings about it because Elon Musk has said on record that he's worried, and there's nothing we can do now. He said it's Pandora's box already open. We're fucked. You know, they've already started fucking with shit that we can't go back on now.
Right.
So if that dude's worried, I mean, we all better be worried, man, because that's some creepy ass shit. Yeah, we're gonna be fighting fucking robots and shit.
Right. The next Terminator is gonna be a documentary.
Yeah, you're right, dude. I remember that movie growing up too. Like Judgment Day was always the weird one that I remember seeing when I was younger.
I've seen the first two.
First two?
Yeah.
Yeah, the third one is the one I remember the most. I remember the first two. But yeah, man, it's Neuralink and all that shit.
Right. Fucking wild.
Yeah, dude, you're not gonna be a human anymore, man.
Right.
What's the mystery? We're all gonna know everything about each other. Ray-Ban just came out with glasses right now that like you can see shit in your glasses. Like,
really?
Yeah, it's like some weird. I don't know. Like I think you can pull apps up and stuff like that. You can see them through.
That's
the glasses.
fucking weird.
Yeah, I know. What's next? They're gonna be able to fucking. I see something weird going on with those glasses. Some dude's gonna have some type of software. He's gonna be able to see through your fucking clothes or some shit, bro. It's gonna be fucking. There's gonna be a lot of people getting arrested and shit
right
out there, dude. People hacking into people's glasses and shit, watching your whole life on their computer screen.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. Hey, do you do anything else other than comedy? I mean, do you have any hobbies or anything, man, or just all comedy?
Comedy is the hobby.
That's it.
Mostly what I do is just go to work and do something comedy adjacent at least.
Hey, now you got a podcast.
Yeah, doing the podcast too. Got that taking my Monday nights. So
is that when you guys go?
Yeah.
I didn't know when to ask you when to record when we were talking because I was like, dude, and maybe it's me getting old, but I'm like, damn, I don't want to have to come on a Thursday after work, But then
I normally
22
go.
years old, you don't give a fuck.
Thursday nights, I'm usually going to the comedy club. They got an open mic on Thursdays.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Nice.
I might go there after this. I'm still thinking about doing that.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, man. And I ask because I'm a guy with like fucking so many hobbies, man.
Yeah.
And, I do all sorts of shit: motorcycles, hunting, podcasting. I can never seem to jiu-jitsu. I can never seem to just stick to one. For some reason, I'm just kind of all over the place. So. But I just like to get to know, like, see what people like to do, other people, see what type of stuff they get into, who knows if they might be into Pokemon cards or something. You look like a Pokemon card type of guy.
I had Pokemons when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Pokemon cards when I was a kid,
you weren't the guy with the fucking Pokemon app, just,
no.
walking around?
I mean, I had it, like, when it was, like, a popular thing, like, when everybody had it.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, I had it too. I'm not gonna lie.
There was a point where everybody had it. So.
Yeah, I think, like, vehicle crashes went up that fucking year.
Oh, yeah. That wouldn't surprise me. Yeah.
I think they even had a thing on there, like if you were driving, it wouldn't let you play it or something like that. It could
that's a smart a smart thing.
I might be tripping. It's been a while since I had it, but
I mean, it wouldn't be hard to do because like the phone can know like how fast it's going.
Yeah.
So if they're going, if nobody's running 30 miles an hour. So.
When it first released, I remember that day. I took my daughter down there. She was obsessed about it too. And I was like, man, it's cool, dude. I remember growing up, I had Pokemon cards. I wish I would have kept them. They're worth like hundreds of dollars now. You know what I mean? That would have been a nice little, vacation right there. But we go down there, dude. The plaza is packed.
Yeah.
Like that. Like I'm talking. I've never seen the plaza packed in my life.
It was a weird time.
Yeah.
It's just everyone walking out, just staring at their phones. Yeah.
No one looks up.
Right.
Everyone's bumping into each other.
And I didn't even really play it all that much because like when it came out at the time, I had like. My iPhone, I like like an iPhone 6, I think. It was like shitty, and like my Google Maps, like my maps didn't work very well. So like my phone like never was able to like pick up my location.
Yeah.
So I couldn't like use maps at all. And like you needed like your location on to use Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
So like I could use it a little bit, but like I'd be standing in a spot and my phone would think I'm like 4 or 5 miles in another direction, and I'm like, I can't do this. This is not working for me.
Once they were like, oh, you can't battle. I'm like, why the fuck do I even have this? I'm just collecting fucking Pokemon right now. What the fuck? I think I got rid of it after that, dude.
Yeah.
Maybe they updated it later on. I don't fucking know, but yeah, man, that was a weird time, dude.
It was weird.
Hey, at least it got people outside, man.
It's true, yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's true.
Like,
got people
my
out
kid
and moving.
Growing up, man, like they're never outside.
Yeah.
Dude. I had to like kick them out, like go play, dude.
Yeah, I was always playing outside when I was a kid.
I know, dude.
Always out playing with the neighborhood kids. Yeah.
And nowadays, man, it's real hard to see that, you know.
Yeah.
But I guess, you know, that's the times, man. Times are changing, dude.
Definitely.
But no, man, I appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah, man, this is a lot of fun. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem, man. I always kind of, you know, try to figure out when to end it, you know.
Yeah, it's always
I could go on for like 3 hours,
right? Because we're just having conversation. You don't really know when to end.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's kind of what I do, man. Just kind of talk about, you know, all sort off the wall shit. You know, just kind of let it go and stuff. But yeah, man. Hopefully, I'll have you back on sometime.
Yeah, man, it'd be fun.
Good luck to your guys' podcast.
Hey,
too.
thank you.
Heavy Breathing podcast.
Yeah, the Heavy Breathing podcast.
Yeah, and when do you release those?
We release those on Mondays.
On Mondays.
Yeah, we'll put them on YouTube.
Okay, so that's when they come on YouTube on Mondays.
Mm-hmm.
Mine are kind of all over the place. You'll never know when mine come out. But hopefully, once I'm trying to get it to that point, though. You know, like hopefully, I've got a couple people that I got in line right now to record, but
cool.
We'll see if they come through.
Yeah,
you know, but,
right.
But yeah, man. So, and then you were saying earlier you got something coming up or anything like that?
I don't really have anything too big coming up. I'm doing a show.
Well, you got to let the 5 people who watch this know,
right?
My mom, my dad, and my brothers. That's the only ones watching.
I mean, the next big show I got coming up is like 3 hours away. So,
is it?
Yeah.
Where's that at?
On the other end of Missouri. I don't even remember the name of the city, and it's like a month away.
Really?
Yeah. A lot of those shows I do, I feel like are more like I get like a week's notice. Like I'm not getting a whole lot of notice to like throw shit out. I'm like asked last minute for a lot of things, so it makes it harder to like tell people what I'm doing. You go by
yourself, or do you go with your little crew that you went with like last time to Chicago?
I'm going with a couple different comics this time. Yeah, it's a different comic asked me to go with them.
That's cool.
But yeah, it's doing a show, and I think it's a little south of St. Louis somewhere.
That's pretty good though that you branch out like that, kind of network and stuff like that. That way you can get more calls, go to different shows, more reps, you know, for your show. You know, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'll work with anybody.
And then you said Fridays you host.
Yeah, Fridays I host an open mic in Independence at Apex Ale Works Brewery and Tap Room. Awesome. It's off Nolan Road. Yeah, between I-70 and 40 Highway.
What time is that at?
It's 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
Yeah, if you come tomorrow, we're doing a Halloween costume contest. So
okay.
Come on out.
Whip out my. I've got a lion onesie.
Hell yeah!
Pull that shit out, man. I've worn that
Bring
shit
it out.
for the last 6 years.
Bring it out, and there'll be lots of comics there, so you can try to get some more guests for your podcast.
Dude, I'd love it. Anybody want to come on? Please come on, man. I'm desperate over here. I'm about to start paying people to come on. But
damn, why'd I say yes now?
I know, you should have waited
Should have waited till the money offer came in.
I got him before he got famous. But yeah, man, that's cool. And then you said you host sometimes at the comedy club.
Yeah, at the Comedy Club of Kansas City. Yep, I'll host there sometimes.
That's different. That's not a set date, right?
Yeah, no, times. That one's also pretty random. Usually pretty last minute. Mm-hmm. A lot of what I did there last year was I show up on Thursday to watch the show and then do the open mic, and it's just like, hey, you're here. You want to host this weekend? Sure. Yeah. Like I've been asked like 5 minutes before the show starts before.
Well, man, we'll have to stay in contact for real, man, because I'd like to go down there and check you out, man.
Yeah.
So that'd be awesome.
For sure.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, man. Thank you.